Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Welcome, guys, to the chat show. Brought to you by Moto ZA, South African Renaissance, fueled by Weather Garage, and well oiled by Liqui Moly once again, unfortunately. So today you will see us in the studio environment where previously we've done before the races at the Nationals or whichever AMU and things like that. So yeah, so this would be our first studio show, episode 1. Hosts, myself, Zygmunt Brodaka, or Ziggs Brodaka, Matt Gildenhuys.
How's it going?
Like a new man.
Good to be back.
Yes, it's a different setup, too many lights and whatnot, but okay, it's lekker. And then we have our guest, Calvin Vlaanderen.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Homegrown Capetonian.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome. Really.
Thank you in the studio,
Yeah,
dude.
thanks guys.
So,
Let's start off with the start of your career. Being in your hometown, we're in your hometown at the moment. You're down on a little break, holiday.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, the start.
The holiday or the start of my career?
Start of your career.
yes.
The start of your career.
Well, it started at the age of 3. My dad, I think he used to love motocross bikes and motocross, but his parents never, allowed him to ride. So when we were born, he's like, I want to give my kids the opportunity to ride motocross, and that's what he did. He said once we can ride a bicycle without the training wheels inside, then he'll buy us a PV50. And that's what, the same day we rode without training wheels, and we got a PV50 to ride in the park next to the house. And, one PV50 for me and my brother.
Oh, so you shared one.
And we shared one. Okay. Yeah, for the first, I think, 3 or 4 years, we shared a bike. So that's how it started.
And your first race?
Here in Cape Town.
In Tableview.
In Tableview, there was a small park next to the house that we went to ride. I don't know how often we went there, and it started from there. And then once we knew how to ride, we went to the track for the first time. And then
those years, there was no Zone 7. It was Claybrick still and Melkbos.
Claybrick and Melkbos, yeah.
And Killarney.
And Killarney,
Killarney, that's right, yeah.
And your first race? How did that ever come about?
That was the year after. Yeah. Once we went off the PV50, we got a 50cc KTM.
Okay.
And then we did a first race around, I don't know where it was. I don't know how. I think I was last or second to last, or one of the riders right at the back.
Okay.
But, way to start, dude.
Yeah, those days I don't really remember so well, but
sure.
that's kind of what my dad's told me. And
that's early 2000s.
He used to run behind us, around the track, just so whenever we crashed, he used to pick us up and we used to go again.
That's so cool.
And that was in the 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
That was around 2000, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That's very cool. And then, okay, we're going to just track it a little bit forward, yeah. But obviously now you've told us a little career start. But now the main career start was obviously going to Europe. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, Racing South African Championship, I started to do well in Cape Town, started to win. And then, we were like, okay, the next step is to go race at South African National. Also there, you start at the bottom, have to build your way up. I started winning on 50 cc's. I think I won a title in the 50cc championship.
Okay.
Then, you move up to 65, 85, things like that. And then we were bringing out a Dutch trainer every year. He would come for a week.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, Leon Gispers. He used to come out for a week in the year, and he used to train us. And he, we get to a stage in motocross where you have to make a decision. Or you can't stay here in South Africa and make a living out of it. So for my dad, he asked Leon, he's like, are we is Calvin talented? Can he make it in motocross? And Leon says Calvin does have talent. Obviously, he can't tell me if I'm going to make it or not.
Yes.
And it's a big risk. So for me, at a young age, all I wanted to do was to race motocross and to make a living out of it and a career out of it. So for me, it was no question if I wanted to go there or not. But for my dad, obviously, it was a big financial risk,
Of course, yeah.
spending money to send me over. And I went there my first time in 2008 to try and qualify for the Junior World Championship in the Netherlands, and which I did. I just qualified, and
Were you on a Suzuki then?
Yes,
Yeah,
Suzuki
I
85.
remember that, yeah.
Suzuki 85. Just qualified. I think I finished like 27th or 28th or something like that.
Okay.
And then came back to South Africa, raced South African Championship 1 to 5. And then for a couple of years. And then I went over again in 2011 for a couple of races, and I did quite well. Mm-hmm. So one German team got in contact with my dad while I was there. He said, where are you from? Calvin has some talent. I've never seen your name before. And then the year after, I went to him for full-time 1 to 5 championship race. But at that time, you're not making money or anything like that. It's all funded from my parents. So, I'm very fortunate for them to give me that opportunity to do that as a career. And obviously, after hard work, and you have to really dedicate your life to the sport to make a living out of it. And it wasn't easy. I did sacrifice a lot of my years of. My brother, he went to university and things like that. I didn't even finish school. I didn't finish my matric. Because I was 16 at the time. I did homeschooling for a year, but my mom soon realized that Calvin was not really doing much homeschooling over there. So that's kind of where it started.
Tell me quickly before you left who was the 1 to 5s? I mean, who was the people you raced against? Just I can't remember that well. I know Caleb was still here, obviously.
Caleb was always one class
below.
No,
ahead
of me, because he's 2 years older than me, so he was always one step ahead of me.
Did you race him though?
No,
I never raced him.
I was probably like 2-3 classes above him. Then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just remember.
I can't remember now.
Wasn't it like Mittens and then Justin
Mittens? I remember racing 1 to 5 against him. Brendan Fleming. I remember that name.
Yes, I do.
There was another name that comes to mind.
Wasn't Purdon with you as well?
Fenton?
Brendan Fenton.
Brad Fenton or
Brad
Fenton.
Fenton. Right. Yes.
I don't remember that name.
So that kind of group of people.
Yeah.
But we also made a little statement also in the South African Championships. It was also on the CRF 150. With what team was that with? Was that Pelletrain Honda?
That was Pelletrain Honda, yeah.
Oh, John. So. Let's get into that.
Yeah, so
that's where you started making it go there.
Yeah, I mean, still at that in South Africa, you're not really making a living out or making a career.
Yeah, but I mean, like starting to make an imprint on the South African titles, like the 50cc's. It's cool that you the 50cc titles are done, but then when it gets to the bigger class, more attention gets brought into that.
Of course, and I think those years definitely helped me because I was training with guys older than me and the guys on the 250, and that always pushed me during the week. Obviously, in South Africa, the competition isn't that high, so on the weekends it wasn't like I was winning, but I was more learning from the guys during the week. With training with Ant and Caleb, they were on 250s already, and I was trying to race against them. Trying to be as fast as them and things like that. So
that's always good to be pulled, rather.
That pushed me a lot as well, and I think that's also what helped me in the younger years of riding was with my brother. We always used to ride together. And whenever we were at the track training in the week, we were always together riding, That also helped a lot.
But John also made a big impact in your training, as he's still with you now, right?
Definitely, yeah. John...
the Colonel, as he used to call himself back then.
He still calls himself that. But yeah, he's helped me a lot in my career. I wouldn't be where I am today without John. So that's... it definitely started with John. I think when I was 12, 13, I raced the 150 Honda.
Yeah.
That's when I got in contact with John and started to train with John off the bike, also in his gym, in his garage at home.
Yes. In Sunningdale side.
In Sunningdale, yeah. And he's obviously, he's done really well for himself, John, if you see what he's done now in his career. And I'm still working with him to this day. I've tried... When you go to different teams, they have their guy that they like, the team. And sometimes you just follow and you listen to them. But I've soon realized it's... a lot of the teams there are very old school mentality with their trainers.
Okay.
And John is learning. He's willing to learn all the time. He's learning new things all the time. And I work well with John. He's not just my trainer, but he's actually a good friend of mine. And I trust what he says I need to do. And for me, trust is a big thing. And that's why I've tried other trainers in the past, but it never really worked out. Sometimes I was training harder than I ever was, but on the bike, I was tired all the time. I wasn't. I didn't feel fresh. Just it wasn't working so well. So I'm still working with John.
But he just assists you with off bike training, or
bit of both.
okay. But what does he help with when you on the bike itself? Is there some sort of program that he gives you, like X amount of motors or X amount of sprints, or how does it work from there? Because I know his off training it's incredible.
Yes.
But the bike training, obviously, I spent a year with him in 2009. You obviously remember that. Mm-hmm. All I remember is those stairs. It was like vomit material. But anyway,
I've thrown up before after training from those stairs.
We all have.
Told me some stories.
We all have. I can't wait to have him on. Anyway, obviously being with him,
Did he ever chase you away because you're overweight?
John.
No, I'm
he did
asking
it to me.
him.
Oh,
I was never overweight.
I was that guy.
Yeah. No, I used to listen to John. I used to train to the minute of what he told me to do.
So
So.
Matt obviously didn't do everything according to...
Don't beat me up about it.
No, it's just...
I still did it right, dude. Come on. Anyway, but what was I saying now? So on bike training, how does he assist you in that way? Obviously you don't want to give up little secrets.
No,
here
obviously he's not there with me during the week. Like
Yeah.
he can't.
He's in Spain now, so...
He's in Spain, so he's closer, but I don't see him that often.
Okay.
So he doesn't. It's difficult sometimes if the weather's really bad or it's raining or that track's closed or whatever. It's difficult. I need to change things myself. Unpredictable. But he's always there behind his phone. Like he's always available. I can always call him. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like about him. Also,
nice to have a relationship like that.
And he does tell me this year not. Some years before, he used to tell me like exactly what to do at the track. For example, do a 15-minute warm-up, 2 times 35 today, or tomorrow do sprint laps or whatever. But now this year I've been working with another guy who does my on bike stuff.
Okay, interesting. So he's at the track with you all the time.
He's at the track with me all the time.
Cool.
So
and now, talking about that, I'm going to bring it up now. Don't mind me, buddy. Anyway, so this guy that you've worked with this year for on bike training, is he following you through to the thing that we want to announce? Obviously, it's been put out there, but it's cool to have it on the show now for the factory ride next year. Yeah. Is he following you through?
He's not following me through, no.
Okay.
Because he actually is... His name is Harjan Brakke. He's working for a team at the moment, European 250 team it was, and now it's becoming the MX2 Factory Yamaha team.
Okay, well.
So he's going to be team manager there. And it was difficult to combine... him being team manager and a trainer at the same time. And he was just too busy. And it's unfortunate because I wanted to work with him, wanted to continue because I really trust him. Yeah. And he knows what he's talking about, and he helps me a lot on the bike with technique and things like that, which I feel like I need sometimes. Just an extra set of eyes on the track.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that I can't keep him. But I'm still in good contact with him, and I'll still talk to him and see him at the race and stuff.
Yeah, he'll still chat to you behind the scenes.
I thought about it this morning actually for a while. So you would be the first, you and actually McClellan, the first 2 South African factory riders after Tyler Rattray.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is it that since Rattray?
Since Rattray. It just I had to
That's cool.
really go through it and like,
yeah, studied a bit. Well done, Ziggs.
Thanks. That's my input for the day.
Nice one.
When I won my Grand Prix, the first one, that was also the last time a South African won the Grand Prix was Rattray.
Yes, that's right.
What year was he? 08? He was world champion in 08, eh? Rattray.
I don't know.
It must be around about 08, yeah.
Agreed, yes.
Okay. And then... Byron, you got me there. You got me out of the corner, yeah. Okay, but anyway. So actually, let's touch base on what you just said now. Your first win. Let's touch base about... There is a video going around, but now we want to have it here in your home soil. Tell us about it. The first win, the first MXGP win.
Oh, MXGP win was in Sardenga. The MX2 win.
Okay, well, I'm talking about MXGP, but that doesn't matter.
MXGP win was in Sardenga. MX2 win was on Indonesia. That was when I had the South African flag still.
Yes.
After that was a whole commotion with the MSA and stuff.
I'd like to ask about it, but I don't know if you can...
I mean, there's not much to say about it, to be honest.
Well, what happened there actually? Because
So, when I went to Honda, they obviously I have the choice of riding South African flag or Dutch flag. But for me, I chose for the South African flag because that was more meaningful to me.
yes,
And after I won the first Grand Prix, or the Grand Prix in Indonesia, MSA sent an email to MXGP saying that I haven't asked for permission to ride with their flag. Because
you have to ask permission, not the passport.
yeah, because you need to have if you have like an MSA license, then you're valid to ride with the South African flag, because they are the what is it, like the federation, exactly.
So you mean you have to continue on paying your license every year, even if you're not here?
I don't know if I needed to get a license, but I just needed to ask them for permission to ride with the flag.
That's very silly.
Because they're the federation to represent South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's silly.
So, then after that, I was like, you know what? If they're making a problem about it, I'm just gonna change and gonna stick to it.
Yeah,
that's
still
unfortunate.
On that topic, someone spoke about Binders, Brad and his brother, and there's some fee that you still have to pay
for them to rock the South African flag. As
so that
but it depends. I think where they get their license from. If they get it from MSA, then it's normal. You need to pay for your license.
Yeah, that's very
but for me, I had my license from the Dutch Federation, which paid for me. I don't need to pay for my Dutch license.
Okay.
So
they pay for it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, you didn't make a bad move there, I wouldn't say.
No.
I mean, the teams that you've been affiliated with, the riders you've been affiliated with in the MX-1s.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You don't get better than that.
No, of course.
But it still would have been cool to see you, obviously, under the SA flag at the Des Nations, that you would have also wanted, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still...
I still want to do one time in my career, ride for South Africa at the Nations.
Do you think that's possible?
It is possible. It is physically possible, but I just don't know if I will do it, because the Dutch fans, I don't think, will understand.
Okay.
And that's just a touchy subject.
You've built a nice reputation with
Yeah.
the Dutch, yeah.
So, I mean,
Not sure.
personally, if I see a South African flag next to the track, that means a lot more to me than seeing a Dutch flag.
Not sure.
Just from where I'm from, I'm born and raised in South Africa. That's how it is. But I do see, I have my house now in the Netherlands. I've been living there for a good couple of years, so I do feel comfortable and home there. So I do say I'm about 50-50.
So you're dual citizen.
Dual citizen. Yeah.
It's the way to go nowadays, isn't it?
Yes, welcome. You too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to be honest, it's been gold to me. Like, without having to worry about visas and all that kind of
logistical, like travel side must be such a little blessing now to carry around.
To be honest, my Dutch passport's been gold to me, and I'm very happy for
Run
that.
with it, bro. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Matt will find out himself soon. Don't worry.
I'm not getting a Dutch passport.
No.
I mean, I can't change the fact that I'm born and raised here in South Africa, and also I have a Dutch passport. So that's just how it is, and I accept it. And if people don't accept it, then that is what it is.
Well, you're not the only dual citizens. Here is... Tell him.
Yeah, well, I'm getting my Portuguese passport soon.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
And
somewhat affiliated
You
with...
can just buy that, right?
I did buy
Portuguese ones.
next to the KFC in Parklands. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, and I have the Polish passport, so I'm dual as...
Okay.
The poll.
The
Let's
poll.
get back to Sardenga, please.
Yeah.
I watched a little video this morning that you sent me, Isaac.
Yes.
Of who was that recorded that? Where was that?
That was Sardinia, MXGP's video clips.
Oh, their actual video
Yes,
clips.
yeah.
Okay. The emotions there, bro. That was incredible. Please try and run us through. I know it's a little bit
A
of
while
time
ago, it's
yeah.
last year.
It's still...
I wish I could have replayed it this year, but yeah, that was just a really good day for me. Really good weekend. I can't tell you why or what, but really the week leading up to it, I was like, I don't need to ride my bike. Like this week, I feel good. I feel good.
Okay.
I feel comfortable in the sand. I'd done quite a few motos and hours in the sand. I'd set up my bike that year for sand. So I felt comfortable in the sand. I didn't even ride the week before. And I knew like that was my time to get on the podium for the first time, because I hadn't yet in MXGP. And I was like, you know what, if I put my mind to going for the win, I'll automatically be podium, you know?
Yeah, it's a good way to think about it.
And so I was like, you know what, gate pick is really important. I need to be really good in time practice on Saturday. And that's what I did. I was P1. And I was like, okay, went out for a qualifying race. Went out qualifying race, and I won. And like, it wasn't easy. I had to pass some good guys, but I won. I know Jeffrey wasn't there. And I don't know, but I was like Jeffrey's not yet. Now it's my time to win, you know. And
No, but you really passed Prado like it was. So,
yeah.
like what?
Very cool.
So I won the qualifying race, and it came pretty easy to me. I was like, you know what, why, I can win tomorrow, like why not? So that's kind of my mindset going in, and I was just very confident, and my riding was really good. I couldn't really put a foot wrong. Yeah, it was a special day, and you know that that's what sport's all about, like the emotion afterwards. You can't, if you can buy that feeling and like bottle it up, like be like a millionaire. You know, it's unreal, that feeling that you get from just winning. You dedicated your whole life, like I just said, my story from coming from riding in the park and in Bloberg to winning a Grand Prix. That's what you dream of doing your whole life, you know. So when it actually becomes reality, it's crazy. And like now, talking about it, I don't even remember like crossing the finish line. It just goes by so quickly. And if you can really like live in the moment and enjoy it, it would be so nice.
Yeah.
But it just happens. It goes by so quickly, and yeah, it's just a special moment.
But it's fine. Next year you're gonna have a lot of those.
Yeah, hopefully.
Especially with this new backing behind us. Tell us about this new factory ride.
Yeah,
how did this come about? Was it long into the season, or was it now, just recently?
You know, this you start talking and negotiating already like quite early on in the season. It's actually crazy already. After like 2 or 3 Grand Prix, everyone's like talking already like about what they're doing next year. But it's already, you still have 15 Grand Prix to go. Like, why is everyone so? But you need to be on the. You need to be one of the first guys to start talking always. You know, you don't want to be left out. And so it came. I'm trying to think of our first meeting with Yamaha. It came up quite early on in the season. I said to them like, my number one spot would be to come to you guys in the factory team. That's where I want to be. Okay. Obviously, during the year, there's a lot of politics and other teams involved. What you need to play the game also a little bit. Obviously, every rider does, and you have to find the best spot for yourself financially, but also where you're going to be most happiest. So I had an offer from the team that I was with the last 4 years to stay. But it was difficult because Yamaha couldn't really offer me that what they were offering me. But obviously with Yamaha, the deal, being a factory rider, that's every kid's dream is to be, and you know, you can't always think about the money or things like that. So it obviously was difficult decisions I had to make, and I'm still young. I still have a couple good years of racing in front of me. So it came to the day when I had to make the decision, and I'm stoked to be a factory rider again.
Okay, so it's Yamaha and the sponsors, the team. I mean, is it Monster, Yamaha?
Monster is the main sponsor,
of course.
Yeah.
And then kit. I mean, do they run?
That's all a team deal. Like I can only have a deal for my goggles, which I'll sign with 100%.
Okay.
I'll stay with them. I'm happy with the brand, and they've been good to me the last couple of years. So staying with 100% for my goggles, and for the rest, it's all a team deal. Like boots to helmets, it's all a team deal.
Nice, one package, one stop.
Which will be Alpine Star. Yeah.
Okay, and tell me this 450s, is it super hot bikes?
What do you
obviously
mean,
not a
super hot
stock
bikes? No, I've tested the bike already. I had to do a couple of days of testing before I came here to South Africa, which is nice to do testing now because you're still fit and you're still good up to a good speed. You know, sometimes a lot of riders have the break first and then they start testing, but then you still need to get your rhythm again and get your speed back to race speed. So it's nice to do testing now. I had to miss my best mate's bachelor party, so that was a bit of a bummer because of the testing, but bike is unreal. I'm really surprised by the difference between the bike that I was riding the last couple of years to,
because there is a vast difference.
A huge difference.
Really, that much of a difference,
Massive difference, yeah.
Okay, and tell me now, you already built a relationship with Yamaha, but now the Yamaha that you move into for next year, 2024, it's complete different people. Is it different, like the whole Yamaha manufacturer? Is it not the same? Obviously, it's the same brand, but is it not the same people that are affiliated with the Yamaha that you're racing for?
Yeah, so it's like
next year.
It's like the whole team is new. Like my mechanics will be new, or the whole team will be new. Let's say,
okay.
But Yamaha itself, like the guys that I was dealing with the last years, that'll be all the same, like Yamaha itself.
Yeah, okay. So it's the same people that are affiliated.
Yeah, but then they put me in a different team. Like my contract's been with Yamaha the last 3 years, but they've been putting me into Gavin Van Venrooy Yamaha team, which is a privateer team. So now my contract's still with Yamaha, but now they contract me into the factory team.
Oh, I see how you're saying it now. So they place you strategically in a different. Yeah. Okay. Now that makes sense. Yeah. It's also cool. Like now we just had Slade on the North vs South.
Yes.
Which that show aired yesterday, but now it was cool to get Slade's insights of the pro motocross in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a little bit of a rundown of the European scene, like how the days work? Obviously, it's 1 day. By you, it's 2 days.
Yeah.
So how does it break down? Like he was saying, at the pro races after heat 1, it's 30 minutes. You back to the gate and you go.
I would love that.
Really?
I would love a 1 day.
Boring.
I would love a 1 day thing and just go there, you get your racing done, you go home. That would be so cool. I think all the riders prefer that than doing. It's such a long weekend.
So why do they hang on to that format though?
I think that's just how they stick into it since day one.
It's all TV rights. For the fans, they get more money because we're there Saturday, we're racing Saturday,
Yeah.
It's all a financial thing, I think, at the end of the day. It's all business.
Giuseppe.
Yeah, it's all a business thing at the end of the day. I would love to have a one day format. Put the Europeans, all the other classes, put it on Saturday, and the main guys put it on Sunday. I think that would be sick.
Okay.
But I mean, for us, we get there Thursday evening. For me personally, I don't like to travel on a Friday because then it's quite a long day traveling. With, you have to go to the airport 2 hours earlier than your flight. You have to fly. You still have to get a rental car. You have to drive to the track. Like, it's quite if something goes wrong, like you're late,
Yeah,
if your baggage doesn't arrive, which has happened before, then you're screwed. You're stressing about unnecessary things. So I like to travel on Thursday evening, which is normally my rest day, so it works out well. And then you at the track Friday morning, Friday afternoon, just have to do track walk. I normally do a few test starts just to see that everything's fine with the bike, set up my levers, handlebars, things like that. And then Saturday we have free practice, 30 minutes, time practice, 30 minutes, or 25 minutes, and then we have a qualifying race, which is points now this year. But like it's spread out through the whole day. Like we there, okay, our first practice is at like 11 o'clock, and then it's 2 o'clock is time practice. Sure. So it's like 3 hours, you're just twiddling your thumbs, you don't know what to do for 3 hours. And that makes you tired, just sitting around waiting. And then you have like a 2 hour break before the qualifying race.
Well, Slade was complaining about the hour gap, which is too little.
It wasn't even an hour. I think it worked out to like 35 minutes or something like that. Because they say they pull a horn, they blow a little horn. And then, you have to be at the gate before that. Otherwise, you're too late. They don't even let you line up, I think, as far as that.
Yeah.
So
we do the same Sunday. Like sometimes, like I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they didn't have points for qualifying race, you would like, let's say Lommel GP or Sardenga or whatever, you like go there on the Sunday and your body is tired already because you've just done a whole day of racing and you've scored 0 points. You've only like gotten your gate position for the races and your body's already tired.
Do you like this point thing for the qualifying races?
I mean, it gives you a little bit more like reason for racing. Normally before, if you get like an okay start, you just cruise around to the finish.
So how does it work?
It's not really that important.
How does the point system work with
qualifying race?
Yeah,
the top 10 get like points. So the person who wins gets 10 points, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, and the person who finished 10th gets 1.
Okay, and then through COVID time, didn't they have it structured differently when the races were quick after each other? It was like during the week and then the weekend, wasn't it?
Correct.
How was that?
I like that.
But was that a one-day event?
Yes, that was a one-day event. But getting 3 Grand Prix done in 1 week was sick.
Really?
It was so cool.
Imagine that must be intense, though.
It is intense. It's like a hectic week, but it's so cool. You travel there on the week before. Let's say you on the Thursday, you race Sunday, but you stay there, so you don't have to travel anywhere else. You stay there 1 or 2 days, and then you race Wednesday. Again, a couple of days off, and then you race Sunday. And
now your training program, your whole training routine obviously had to change up as well. Because now
for that. I mean, not really. You're still doing kind of the same things during the week.
Yeah, no, it's just adding a race into it.
And trying to rest a little bit more after that three Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's just less traveling. Like, I hate traveling. I hate it with a passion.
Okay.
If I'm going for holiday, it's a different story. But if I'm going for work, like for racing, it's a mission. Like, going to the airport, waiting 2 hours at the airport, and flying, all people around you. Like, I get sick often from traveling home from a race because your body is like so depleted from racing Saturday and Sunday.
You can pick up anything.
You pick up. I've had three throat infections this year, 3 times on antibiotics just because of the planes. Traveling home.
Congestion inside the plane. Yeah, that must be interesting. Tell me, next year's plans. Obviously, it's now the factory team. Amazing, well done once again. We've spoken about this multiple times. And then in the off season, there's no off season throughout the year, right? Like a little break. It's pretty much just the end of the year.
Like, I kind of sometimes, if you have like a weekend off, sometimes you have a weekend off, and then I take like a few days off after the Grand Prix, leading up to the weekend off.
Okay.
If I'm really tired, like I take a whole week off the bike just to really, really rest.
Guys, can I have a bathroom break?
Yes, go ahead.
I really need to run.
Right, guys, welcome to Byron's Tech Talks on the Moto ZA show. And if you guys missed the introduction show, I'm just going to give you a little highlight. We are basically going to be bringing you some technical tips, all to do with, obviously, motocross, motorcycles, anything petrol related. So today is going to be really an introduction show, and we're going to be talking about what to do when you buy a bike. Whether it be a new bike, whether it be a second-hand bike, there's a couple of important things to look at. And we're going to start off with your basic bike prep. Again, like I said earlier, new bike, second-hand, it's important to go through everything. So the most important things to consider when you buy a bike is you obviously want the bike to be able to respond and react the way it should and not be sort of limited by factors like dirty bearings, that kind of thing. So important aspects to look at is things like your swing arm bearings, your linkage bearings, your suspension, wheel bearings, headset bearings, cables, lever positions, that kind of thing. Obviously, I'm going to be elaborating a lot as we go forward in future shows, but I just want to give you a brief outline today with the sort of most important basics when you buy a bike. So often bikes that get assembled on a production line aren't necessarily put together with the best possible care and intent. It's a production line for that reason. So most bikes that come out of a factory sort of scenario are going to require a little bit of TLC to get them absolutely 100% and where they need to be. So we're going to basically talk about things like greasing up your swing arm and linkage bearings, your headset bearings. Those are things that basically can get done maybe once a year, depending on your riding, twice a year. It all goes around how much you're riding, how hard you're riding the bike, that kind of thing. And then obviously more elaborate things like suspension, it's quite often out of the realm of the average rider, so you're going to rely on race shops to do that kind of prep work for you, that more important stuff, and as well as not everybody has got all the necessary tooling. So we'll do a little chat in future episodes about required tooling for various jobs, but for now the basic thing is buying a bike, second-hand or new, the important things to look at is anything that moves. Does it move? Yes. Should it move? Yes. Great. Does it move? No. Should it move? Yes. There we got a problem. So, like I said earlier on, new versus second-hand, a lot of little things to check, but the idea is to give you a brief outline. So, we want to start with a couple of videos as we move forward, and we'll go into more detail on every video, but I think just today, the importance of obviously going through everything on a motorcycle, lubrication points, important to check. Second thing is to check all your bolts and nuts. Again, like I said earlier on, bikes that come out of a production line in a factory, not everything is torqued to the correct spec. So proper race prep involves tearing a bike down completely and literally reassembling the bolt, literally reassembling the bike bolt for bolt to make sure that everything's tightened up correctly, everything's lubed correctly, the torque settings are as per manual, and that way you're going to ensure that the bike does what it's supposed to do. Nothing's going to come loose and fall off halfway through your ride, which is quite important. It's better to finish a ride with both wheels on the bike than one wheel on and one off. But yeah, guys, hope you've enjoyed this one. As we move forward, we'll go into a little bit more detail, and for now, take it easy and keep that throttle pinned.
Evans waterless coolant is the solution to boiling over, so you can push your vehicle like this, and this, and this, without fearing the temperature gauge. Evans waterless coolant. Defeat the heat.
Hi guys, I'm Clive from Clive's Corner on the MotoZ Chat Show, here to demonstrate and talk a bit technical about the Liqui Moly products. So today we're going to demonstrate some Liqui Moly products, the Liqui Moly helmet cleaner, and then the visor cleaner, and then the cloth set, the visor cleaner cloth set that we do have. So I'm going to start off with the Liqui Moly helmet cleaner. It's a foam cleaner, which is awesome to clean helmets, shoes, your gloves, anything basically at your home material wise. So let's demonstrate and show you guys. So obviously after a good shake we can spray it on the helmet, so very good to remove insects, even if you drive through a bunch of bees or anything, just very well to clean and remove all tough stains. So you just spray your helmet, take a nice microfiber cloth and basically wipe it off, removes all the dirt, gives it a nice shine and clean. So we normally use the Liqui Moly helmet cleaner and shoe cleaner on our gloves and our boots. Obviously with all the mud and the dust that we basically get on the boots, very well nice to also move. So what it does, the foam, it actually removes the dust and the dirt. Take the cloth and just wipe it off. As you can see, also the 100% is very nicely shiny. Then we've got, so this is the helmet cleaner for Liqui Moly, and then we've got the visor cleaner and the visor cleaner cloth set. So this is obviously for your garage workshop use, and then for when you're on the road with your buddies adventure riding, you drive through a lot of flies or mosquitoes or whatever, and you don't have your visor cleaner with you, you use the nice visor cleaner cloth set. It's a wet and a dry cloth inside it. Obviously the wet to clean, remove all the stains, and then the dry one to dry it off. Both of them have the anti-mist in them and rain repellent, so very, very good. So you can use them on your scuba gear, on your sunglasses, on motorbike glasses, and obviously the visors of your helmets. So let me quickly demonstrate the visor cleaner for you. So as well, shake very well. Take your goggles, just give it a spray. Take the cloth, wipe them all very nicely until it's nice and dry, and then you can actually see how it evaporates and everything, and how clean the goggles will be afterwards. So that's your goggles, and then we're going to do the and then our glasses. So same way, you take the wet wipe from the visor cleaner. Come on. Also very nice, so if you do have this, you can also clean the helmet, the top side of the helmet, to remove your insects or dirt. So take the wet wipe, just rub them on the glasses, make sure you remove all the stains, you get in everywhere you want to. And then you take out the dry wipe. Just put them there. Sorry. And so you dry them off. And it's a very nice actually material cloth. It dries up very nice, doesn't leave the dirt on it, so it doesn't actually smudge the dirt on the glasses. Also very nicely clean. Awesome product to have, obviously for emergencies, for rainy days and dirty days. That's all for me for today. Have a wonderful day.
Alright guys, we're back from an ad break and the necessary bathroom breaks and
Pit
all
stop.
that. Pit stops, there we go. So yes, Matt.
Calvin, so let's just touch base on like now for the months of November and December leading up to Jan, Feb, whenever the season starts for you. What's your, like the preparation process? How do you go about it now?
Yeah, so like I said, I did a couple of days testing before I could go on holiday. which I enjoyed, just to get used to the bike. It wasn't like hectic testing. It was just kind of just get a base. So when you come back, then we can start proper testing with your base that you already have. So I'm just down for 3 weeks here in Cape Town just to enjoy the sun and get a little bit of off time, live a little bit of a normal life.
Bit of summer.
Yeah, that's why I don't ride a bike. I try to stay away from motocross for a while. And then I'll go back middle of November. Go back and I'll go straight to Italy for a week of testing, which will be more intense testing, longer days, based on mainly about engine spec, what I want to ride for the season. And then I'll start slowly with training. I think I'll just do 1 or 2 days a week, slowly building into it. And then beginning of December, I will be going on a boot camp with the team. Cool. Off the bike. Okay. Just I think it was 10 days, just in the hills somewhere cycling. And then we have a week break, Christmas to New Year, and then we'll go to Sardinia in January to really start the training and getting everything 100%. And then I think end of February, the racing starts with the pre-season races, which we'll do Italian Championship, the 3 rounds of Italian Championship. We'll race just to, get your feet wet a little bit. Racing is always different to training. With the bike setup, things like that. So we'll do those races just to get comfortable racing, and then the Grand Prix start. I think either beginning of March or end of February, somewhere around there. I think beginning of March. Yeah.
Okay, so there's still quite a break. Well, not much of a break because there's a lot of testing involved, but there's still quite a nice, comfortable break for you.
Yeah, that's why I really try to get away from the motocross now. This is the only time of the year where I can really just get a break. So I really try to switch off. Yeah, and I still bring my bicycle with me, and I still train every day, which is so stupid. I don't know why I do it, but I just enjoy it. Like if I don't train in one day, I feel terrible. Okay. I feel like I
didn't accomplish something.
I just feel like I have no energy. I'm just what a waste of a day without a little bit of gym or run or cycle or something like that. So I still try and keep fit now in the off season. I don't pick up weight or anything like that, and then at least when I go back into testing, then I am still in good shape.
Okay. Yeah. And now, for example, being on the new team, is it something that you need to adapt with now, like new suspension guys, new engine guys? Is it something does that also take a while? Like as much as getting your bike set up for you and being comfortable with it, is it also same trying to get how do you say, accommodated with the people?
Yeah, a big time. And that's one thing, like with the team that I was with before, like if you spend a good 3-4 years with them, you really know them and you're comfortable with them and you feel very, really more like a friendship than a team relationship. Okay. And that's also important to have that kind of relationship with your team and the people that you're working with. So it's going to take a bit of time to get used to. People that, like I said, all new mechanics, all new people working around me.
Yeah.
Which I like. I feel like I need a change. Sometimes it's like a new motivation for me. I'm excited for the next step in my career to be a factory rider again. And but yeah, it is definitely going to be something I'm getting used to, working with new people and getting used to the bike. Already now, like the first day that I tested, it was everything's different,
Does it go as far as chassis as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Really? That far? Okay.
Yeah. We haven't done any chassis testing yet, but there is chassis testing coming up.
I wonder what they do around that. I wonder what that revolves around, Like, how is it a stiffness thing? Is it how does it work?
It's a lot. They change quite a lot. Taking weight off this part, that part of the end of the frame to put more pressure on the other part of the frame. Like balance is the most important thing in motocross with testing. Is balance. Okay. And you need to have a good balance with the bike. And if you're feeling too much weight on the front or too much weight on the back, like you can only do so much with suspension.
Yeah.
And
I do like your suspension. Actually,
I like my completely off topic, but
no. You mentioned.
I like. To be honest, I'm really special with my suspension. Like on hardpack, I need pressure on the front, like a lot of pressure on the front. I really like to feel my front tire, feel the dirt. So I really ride with my bike like quite low on the front, and my rear like really stiff because I really like it to sit. Really like if I want to sit in the corner, I want to sit and not be sitting. Squatting too much. Also, when you're coming out of the corner, I want it to be to sitting and going forward. I don't want to be squatting and going wheelie. So for me, it's like really, I like my forks nice and comfy, and my shock really nice and stiff. But it's also a combination. You can't have too stiff and too soft. You know, you really need to find a good balance between the two.
But you've got a unique style with your riding. So like how you explain in your suspension setup now, your unique style. What I mean by that is you're very light on your feet. So I don't know if a lot of people will see that your style, like when you come into a sitting position, it's like you're not sitting into the bike. You're just there. You're on top of it. Is it to make it lighter or what?
I like to sit on top of a bike. Like I hate the feeling of sitting and I'm inside the bike. That's why my seat is like this, like so hard.
Okay.
Like I hate having a soft seat because I feel like I'm riding a couch, you know. When you sit and you have a soft seat, I like it to be hard because when I sit, I want to be over the top of the bike. And I feel like I have more feeling with the front tire and more control if I'm sitting on top of the bike. I can really put my feet in the good position. I can put my elbows up. That's something
super light on the bike. That's what I mean by unique style.
But it's still,
explain.
like I'm still trying to put as much pressure as possible on the foot pegs, like because that's where you get the traction from the rear, from the back of the bike. So that's that's something I've been working on. Is especially when you go to 450s, is technique. Like in 250 bike, you can have a technique, you know. But the bike is going to kind of save you because the bike's not going so fast. As soon as you go to 450, like your whole style needs to change to really work with the bike, and that's also when testing becomes so important because you really need to be comfortable with the bike that you're riding.
And of course, the people surrounding you.
That helps a lot. That helps a lot, you know, and the experience that people bring. That's what I missed in my old team, just some experience. You know,
got well experienced guys. You need to adapt with them, obviously. That's the change. But the people that are going to be behind you for 24 are well experienced as well. Eh?
Yeah. And already working with them a couple of days, like you feel the experience. You just like small things like that they pick up from on the side of the track, which I never had that in the past. You know, in the past few years, that's something I missed. You know, I can feel the bike. I'm really good at feeling the bike and knowing what I want. But then if let's say a mechanic or a team manager or chief mechanic, if they can see something from outside, like, oh, your bike is, maybe try and shift here, or you know, different gearing, like this experience, like it's really important, and that builds trust with people that can help you.
Is what you're talking about now? Sorry, you're talking about now is like with the team? Is it with, like you see those images and you see some videos of behind the scenes and stuff? Is it where what you're talking about, the team guys, like they'll have a oak in that spot, a guy in that spot, a guy, to see all angles of the track and to also give you so you give feedback to the team and they can also give some sort of input what they see from the outside?
There's always one filmer who's standing like somewhere on the top of the track that can
for only testing or for every training session?
No, that's just mainly for the races.
Oh, okay.
For training session, they don't normally film, and for testing, they don't. Sometimes they film, especially like if you're working with Japanese, they like to film everything. But normally it's for like the racing. So like in practices, things like that. If I'm feeling something in that type of corner, they have it on camera. Like you can exactly show what you're feeling.
And is this with the current team that you're with, or the new one you're going to?
Well, the guy that I was working with in the past, Harjan Brakke, the trainer, he used to help me with this because he used to be on the side of the track filming me. That's also why I invested in someone to help me, because it's always nice to watch videos of you riding, because you can see different things. Also, I'm watching not only myself, but I see what Prado is doing, what Jeffrey is doing. Like he videos not only me, but also the other guys to try and learn.
You can get a glimpse of everything.
Yeah, and it's mainly just for the Saturday, just in the beginning of the Saturday to learn what they're doing, you know.
Yeah. That's very cool. And then here's another question that I think a lot of people would want to know the answer to, or they would like to know the answer to. But this little establishment of the Europe riders and the guys from the States, people saying Europeans smoother, Americans are wild. And then other people say the Americans are smoother, but it's just a different track composite. You've obviously now raced MX of Nations, and one of them being in the States, okay, it was mud at Red Bud, right? But how, the track difference, is there such a difference?
There's a huge difference in the tracks. Like the soil is so different.
And narrow, wider, how far does it go has been different?
I find like if you watch the racing in the US, the tracks look really wide, and like they really prepare their tracks really well compared to an MXGP. That's also why the racing is so good there. Like there's so many lines, passing opportunities, because you can go inside here and outside. It's almost the same speed. Whereas in Europe, like inside would be so much faster. The outside wouldn't be used the whole day.
Okay.
Because the track is, it's some tracks they don't know what they're doing. Let's say it's like an old school. That's why it's one line in Europe, and it's difficult to pass. Start is very important. I would like to go race in the US more.
Okay.
In the future. I think the racing looks good there, and the tracks look good. But I've only raced Redbud. I've raced Glen Helen. I've raced Charlotte, MXGP there. They just repair their tracks really well. They put more effort into the tracks, and I think that makes better racing.
And line selection, obviously.
Line selection. They really tilt the tracks. They really rip it quite deep. They put a lot of water on. They prepare it a little bit better than what it seems like in MXGP. Yeah.
And about Lommel, don't you want to touch base on Lommel there? What you wanted to ask earlier?
Oh no, I was just because of I wanted to ask Calvin because of Melkbos 4x4, that sand, our sand track, which I think is still even more sandier than PE or loose sand.
Yeah, it's different sand.
Top section there always.
PE was all sand, like sand. But in Melkbos we had like a little bit of hard pack section in the middle, But it's definitely helped me. To.
But is Lommel as wild as what people say?
Yeah, it's hectic.
Is it?
Yeah, it's hectic.
Rollers.
It's really hectic.
You're never sitting down.
No, like it's a long motor. 35 minutes in the sand. Track gets really rough.
How long are the tracks? Like a lap?
2 minutes, around 2 minutes normally.
So it's all the same. This is what I wanted to touch base on. Everyone keeps we touch base with Slade, for example, about the tracks in the States. On TV, it looks so long and it looks so grueling,
But
that track could be like 4 minutes, for example.
Yeah, but there are tracks there like 2 minutes 20, 2 minutes 30. Like there's quite a few tracks that are there. We only have Madley Base in England. That's like 2 minute 20 lap time. For the rest, it's all around 2 minutes, under 2 minutes. Like it's not often that we have a track over 2 minutes, which is what we need in racing. Whereas in the US, you have many tracks that are over 2 minutes, which is cool.
Yeah, but like now you still equate it to the South African Championship, for example.
Yeah.
You look at PE, that's a 2 minute odd lap time. But you look at PE from being at the track, and then you look at, for example, Lommel, when you're watching it on TV, it looks like Lommel could be 10 times longer than what PE would be. But in actual fact, it's all pretty similar. Lap time wise, track length. I think PE is one of the best tracks.
Slade said Bloemfontein is bigger than most American tracks.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, you see now, how do we get...
They compact everything, and I guess it's more...
Like now, where the Motocross of African Nations was, not the Motocross, the Des Nations.
Yeah.
That track, it looked super small.
Small, Erne,
and
France.
Narrow.
Yeah, some sections very narrow.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
So it's. I think in general, South African tracks aren't so bad.
Okay.
There's a lot of work to be done still, though. I think so.
I think it's just the way they prepare them is different.
I also think it comes down to funds. Can they do it?
Yeah, and also the amount of people riding.
Yeah, the national gets 100 plus riders. That's about it. Bloemfontein, actually, the North vs South, that was quite a good entry. What, it was 250?
266 something.
266, which is pretty cool.
Well, it's a once a year thing, so.
Yeah.
And is there also the EMX 250 and all of, it's not on the same day as your normal races?
It is, yeah, it is. So they have they still do their practice and qualifying and stuff like that on Saturday, and then they have one moto on Saturday, and then they'll have their second moto Sunday morning before our motos.
Okay, so it is a long.
So it's too hectic. In my opinion, they need to get rid of this. There's too many European classes. There's too many.
And that other championship that you won?
It's taking away the highlight of what the MXGP and MX2. This is the priority. This is what people come to watch, not the European classes, not the women's class. This needs to be put on another weekend, or, in my opinion, on another day.
Yeah.
So the women's class is also on the same. It's all affiliated on the same weekend.
Yeah,
sure.
They're trying to squeeze into too many things, but that's my opinion. I can't change it.
And then I was thinking about it now. What's that? I sound like such a chop now, not knowing that championship that you won. The
Dutch Championship.
Are you going to continue with that next year, or is it okay? So you're going to do it again?
And I'll do it again. I have an agreement with the Dutch Federation that I will race.
Okay.
The championship.
And how many rounds is that? And it doesn't collab with the other one. It doesn't
No,
interfere at all.
No, not at all. There's
So
only
that's-
there's only 3 rounds.
Huh?
It's only 3. Now it's only 3 rounds. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before it was 5
Okay.
rounds. And now they made it 3. It's only 3 rounds of the year.
So it's like this WSX.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
Yeah, 3 rounds. It's good competition, good good money. So
Pretty much still like a MXGP race. The same guys are pretty much in there.
most of the same guys are there, and it's just 1-day event, which is cool.
That's
Okay.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you wanted, eh?
Yeah.
All right. How you feeling there, Ziggs?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Sure. It
Yeah.
was quite an honor to have you here, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, first
It's,
first guest in the actual studio.
it's cool.
Yes.
It's very cool to have.
We broke the ice like properly.
Yeah.
You broke the ice, bud.
I did.
Oh, it's cool to give back to you guys. You guys obviously know me since I was a kid.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's cool. I appreciate the support from all South Africans still following me, still watching me, what I do.
It'll never die down, bro.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so for me.
Yeah.
I receive a lot of messages and stuff when I do well. And it's so cool to see people still watching and supporting. It's
No, for sure.
You must obviously see on social medias after a good weekend that you've had, or when you do have a good weekend on social media on the following day, people
Yeah.
are going mad for what you do.
yeah, that's
cool.
that's cool. I appreciate that a lot.
And
Yeah.
it'll never stop, like I
Yeah,
said.
I'll never forget where I came from.
100%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is a wrap, right?
100%.
And yeah, thanks for watching. I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you very
100%.
much.
I
buddy.
hope the next guest is going to be a good one, and hopefully the show. I'll try to promote the show as much as I
Thank
can.
you.
That'll be
Appreciate
much
it.
appreciated.
And,
Yeah.
But it's actually quite fitting that you came on first.
Oh, cool.
You were here,
Yeah,
you know, timing wise and stuff. So thanks, really.
Cool.
cool.
All right.
Water. For 100 years, we've used water mixed with conventional antifreeze to cool engines because nothing transfers heat better. But water's limitations present multiple challenges. For starters, water's low boiling point can lead to steam generation and an overheated engine, is the root cause of corrosion in your engine, and supports electrolysis, where water acts like a conductor, allowing an electrochemical charge between dissimilar metals that can degrade your radiator over time. For decades, drivers and auto enthusiasts have searched for ways to overcome these age-old issues, but until now, there hasn't been a viable solution. Enter Evans Waterless Coolant. While most coolants today contain 50% water, Evans doesn't use it at all. Evans features a revolutionary water-free formula that prevents corrosion and doesn't support electrolysis, meaning it won't eat away at engine metals. The biggest difference, though, is Evans' boiling point, 375 degrees, which is far higher than water's at 212 degrees and regular coolants at 235. Unlike water-based coolants, this means Evans won't form vapor in your engine. Why is that important? Because vapor pockets forming between liquid coolant and metal components create a barrier that prevents heat from being drawn away from the engine, which is a coolant's job in the first place. Water conducts heat extremely well as long as it remains a liquid. But quickly and without notice, vaporization takes away nearly all of water's capacity to transfer heat. With vapor existing between engine metals and liquid coolant, hot spots develop in the metal. Pressure builds, the coolant begins to boil, and the engine overheats. When engines overheat, people are stranded on the side of the road, get stuck out in the woods, and lose races. Overheating can ruin not only your day, but under the surface, ruin your engine. Evans is safer and more stable than traditional coolants because it prevents the high pressure levels that lead to boilovers and volcanic radiator eruptions, meaning hoses, seals, and gaskets are less likely to leak and will last longer. From cars to trucks to motorcycles, Evans is an enabler. It allows safe, consistent, and efficient operation in temperature ranges that are simply unreachable with water. Evans handles extreme conditions that put stress on your engine, such as high heat, heavy loads, or blockages that disrupt airflow to the radiator. With Evans, your operating ceiling is raised. Evans does its job well past the point where other coolants fail, even in situations where performance isn't your main objective, such as with classic or vintage cars. Evans helps preserve the engine by eliminating the long-term corrosive effects of water, which is exactly why collectors and museums use Evans to protect their investments. What all this adds up to is the safest, most efficient, and most reliable coolant available. Whether idling in traffic, off-roading, or racing, drivers and riders finally have a solution to the problem water presents. Evans Waterless Coolant provides permanent protection, reduced maintenance, and enhanced performance, even under the most extreme conditions. Learn more and find out where you can get yours at www.evanscoolant.com.